So I've been looking forward to this next talk for a while. Two of my favorite people, and the first one is Manpreet. So where's Manpreet on here? Let's have a look. There we go. Let's pop you on the Zoom stage. Great to see you. So Manpreet, I love this bio, creative by nature, enthusiastic to help and build communities. She mentors students and professionals, and she's an NLP, natural language processing practitioner. She's constantly sharing her views and learnings through blogs, videos, and podcasts. And she's a data engineer and founder of the AIM community and an all-around very happy person, Manpreet. So
thank you for inviting me for this talk.
I should have started with happiness, because what else matters? If you you've cracked that up, you've done it. And also in our spirit of multiple presenters tonight, I'm now scanning so many cameras on. This is wonderful. So I have to, there we go, found you. Ammar, great to see you as well. So Ammar is an adjunct professor for TensorFlow certification training at the Python Academy. That's quite a sentence, isn't it? And a professional PhD candidate at Knowledge SRL, located in Genoa, Italy, passionately working in the field of embedded artificial intelligence for maritime applications in cooperation with the Liguria region and the University of Genoa. So hopefully you think we're in very good company tonight. So I'll pop myself back off the spotlight. It's 16:39 here in the UK, about 25 minutes or so on the clock. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Richard, for this generous presentation, and thanks, Raith and Giovanna, for your really interesting talk. Everyone here, thank you so much for attending. I'm gonna be presenting with Manpreet the differences between the skill set needed as an entry level in the AI domain for both academic and the industry. So the talk generally aim to share the experiences of the field of AI from two perspectives, the academic and the industry. And this is what I'm gonna be focusing on, myself as a PhD student, Manpreet as a industry employee. We're gonna talk about the entry level, and it might be extendable for seniors. I'm not sure, I cannot know, I'm not yet a senior. Anyway, so I can see these stuff well because I'm doing my PhD in a company in the R&D department. So what I am struggling with is the different perspectives my supervisors have. The supervisor in the company would like to have more practical results. The supervisor in the university like to have papers and generic stuff. So I'm gonna let me present my screen. I only have one slide that is I'm gonna be talking about. So is my slide visible now? Okay, perfect. So in this slide, we're going to compare some of the differences between machine learning modeling in a research and a research academic setting and in real production machine learning. So we have the two sides, the academic and the industry, on the same slide, where we're going to discuss a normal AI model deployment scenario. Okay, so to start with, in an academic or research environment, you're typically using a static data set. This is what we do. We fix the data set and we start by having a model and assess it with the different assessment methods. But the data set is static. So when you see a paper about a conference paper or a journal talking about a certain model, they first describe the data set. And sometimes it's published publicly on Kaggle or GitHub anyway. So this is a big difference. While in the production machine learning, we don't have this. It is dynamic and it is usually shifting. The only non-changing, the only static thing in the word is change. So this is what the production machine learning model deployment style is. While in the academic word, it is not wrong, but it is domain specific. Next, the design priority for academic or research machine learning is usually the highest accuracy over the entire static training set. But the design priority for production machine learning is fast inference, accuracy, the cost of deployment, computational power, power consumption, all of those. So this is another difference. So we have the highest accuracy reach. This is like the general, or maybe not only accuracy, maybe F1 score, maybe other stuff. But this is, we have something static here. But on the other side, in the production machine learning, we have many things to consider. This is why mostly in production machine learning teams, it is a bigger team and not only one or two researchers working together. To go with, we have model training for research machine learning is based on a single optimal result, and the tuning and training is necessary to achieve it. Production machine learning requires continuous monitoring, assessment, and retraining, and this is a cause of dynamic and shifting of the data. So fairness is very important in both, but it is most important in production machine learning. Like, for example, let's say here in Italy, we are training a model that is that detects a cancer, like cancer from X-rays. But in Italy, there is only one type of X-ray machines. This is deployable for Italy, and it is a good research. But in the production machine learning, we need to have X-rays from other types of X-ray machines to generalize and to be fair. Finally, the main challenge of academic research machine learning is finding intuition and a high accuracy model. While for production machine learning, the challenge is having high accuracy and intuition plus everything else. Like, it should be accurate. It should have a dynamic data set. It should have fast inference. It should have low computational power. It should have low or high power consumption depending on the application. Therefore, this is a fast overview on a simple project that could help us understand the differences between both academic and production machine learning as a technical thing. From there, we could move on to, I'm going to stop sharing now because it's not dependent on the slide anymore. But to move on, as a PhD student, as a research candidate, there is some key stuff we need to understand. First, PhD candidate should be resilient. Resilient, I mean that the subject, the supervisor, the fund might change at any point of your PhD in all the universities of the world. I've heard this from a lot of students, and this is possible, and you need to accept it because this is something administrative and it is out of your control and it is out of your knowledge. You cannot do anything about that. You just need to accept that and provide that, this is coming somehow, sometime. You need to have good, let me say, good spoken and written language skills. And I'm not talking about language skills in the language that you're going to use. I'm not talking about language skills like the one we speak. I'm talking about written skills in paper-wise. For example, I thought that I can write good English since it's my third language, but I thought I could. After writing my first draft of my first paper and comparing it with a published paper, it's like I was like, no, this is not okay. And then I improved my skills. I tried to do something just like copying and rewriting over something that is already written to improve my skills of writing academically. For example, I'm going to give you a generic example. Let's say we have a paper and we have to say that we did good. So you cannot say that the results are shown to be good. There is nothing such as good. You need to describe good with comparison to the first and second reference. You cannot say that's good. What does good mean? You have to be also familiar with the research mindset and methodology, which means that you need to accept that you need to search a lot and read a lot of things that are useless in order to get something fruitful for you. It would be also great at the end if you have any research, any type of research background, let's say lab internships, let's say final year project that you converted into a paper, anything is okay and it is helpful. So for me, this is everything I have today. Manpreet, the auditorium is yours, the podium is yours. I'm not sure what to say. please take over and crush it.
Um, well, thank you so much, Ammar, for sharing your experience in the research field, and thanks to Kate and Gio for an awesome talk before us. And thank you for Richard and MKI community for inviting us for this talk. So I don't have any presentation, so I'll be talking about entry-level skills needed into the industry when you're applying. So before we move ahead, what skills are needed when you are into the job? I would like to say what is needed before it. So I have two use cases. First is the one like you're a college student and applying as an fresher or an entry level. So as you are an entry level, I would say the first most important thing is to be a part of community at college, not just technical but cultural as well, because technical communities would surely help you to develop your technical skills, but cultural communities will also teach you lessons like managing, working in a team, taking up responsibilities, leadership, working in fundings, how to get funds. And I think these are all an important aspects. Somewhere down the line, you learn to manage finances, to work in a team, how to cooperate and manage the conflicts within the team, which you won't realize when you are in college, but you would realize when you're working at a company or an organization, remembering, oh, something somewhat, some like that happened at when I was in college. I can do that way and use these tactics. As an entry level, you people generally are very scared to do projects, and generally they have repetitive projects, Kaggle projects and GitHub projects. But I would like to share an example. So we had a community, GDG NIT Surat, and what happened was that our community decided to develop and revamp our own college website. And that was a great project for them to show on their resume because they did something for the college, and it helped the college, as well as it was a very good project to showcase in their CVs to the interviewers. Okay, we actually built something which took them a year to build, but yeah, it was such a good project to show, and it was something different and unique from the repetitive things generally the interviewers see. And if you're part of communities, you'll also realize that GSOC outreachy programs are also there to do open source learnings. They are not just now limited to software engineering, coding stuff, but now there is a lot of projects in data science and AI that are open sourced, and there are communities like Open Mind and other communities like that work to make data science and AI projects open source, and everyone can contribute. And it's very important your GitHub contributions look very good when you're applying for your job, and it's still considered very good when you're applying after some years of experience. And as an entry level, an interviewer doesn't expect you to be very good in everything, but they at least want you to be very good with your basics. And I think when you're applying it after 2 years or experience, they still know you to be very good with your basics, because if you don't know your basics, they'll judge you how would you do a problem or a project that comes your way. So it's very important to be very good with your basics when you're applying, and not just basics. In an interview, your soft skills comes into play, that if you are very smart and you know that I'm very strong in a particular project and know its concept well, and you can deviate that topic to your project that you want to talk to and the interviewer to ask you, then it's almost a win-win situation for you, because you know that project well and you made that interview talk about that project, and it's a very good win-win situation for you. So how you tackle that situation, how you get nervous even if you don't know an answer, and how do you respond at that time, being humble yet saying I don't know, is also a very good a point in your interview and showcases your personality. And lastly, highlight the skills that you want that interview should see it. So like the projects you're very proud and you are very confident of it, if you highlight and put it up and at a very start, where people can just see it. It would help you only to grow and be very confident in the interview. And the second use case of comes when people are shifting from one domain to into the data science or AI domain. You are still considered as a fresher because you don't have an experience into that domain or field. So one thing you could do is start working or collaborating within your teams. So you could go to your data analytics team and say, okay, hi, I'm looking forward to change and learn data science. What do you people do? How do you get into with the data? How do you solve it? Start learning what they actually do in real life, because you have a good opportunity to approach your own team. So you can easily have a call, look into what they are doing, sit with them, ask your team manager or another manager, can I shift into that can I shift into that domain, or can I work on that project, can I learn something? I know it's very tricky, but it's also depends on the work culture or the company you're working on. Some might get very offended, but some might support you in it. So you are very lucky. And for people who are like in legal and other domain and want to learn tech, you can communicate with other people in community to understand how things are happening. And you never know, a good collaboration could lead to a very good projects out there for the community. And now moving ahead, what I have learned as an entry level into into the company. So first, most important thing is to have a learning attitude, because as a fresher, you don't know anything when you're applying for when you're doing that stuff. And try to learn as much as you can. When I started to work, I never wrote functions. I never wrote comments in my Python code. But now I'm that a person. I've come to like from a 200 line of code to like a 30 line of code by doing functions and making it very smaller and precise for what I've needed. Also, at work, you will make mistakes, but have that courage to accept that you did that mistake and don't repeat it, but learn from it. I think that is a lesson for every aspect of life, that whenever we do a mistake, we should accept it, learn from it, and move ahead and grow from it. Like I had by mistake did a git commit which had deleted like a lot of data at work. But then thankfully I have such great managers at work, so they told me, okay, you don't do this way, and now I'm extra cautious when I'm doing my git commits and all stuff. And um, so now I got hired virtually, and with the current pandemic situations, a lot of hiring is getting remote and offices turning work from home. As a fresher, you don't get a chance to talk to your teammates, meet them, and know other teams in the organization. But I would say take efforts to try to talk to your manager, then to your team. My first review was that I received was that I do not talk at all at work, but I'm very active on LinkedIn, and that review was given by every teammate and manager. So it really hit me hard. Then I tried to work very hard to collaborate, talk to other team members, try to take part in activities, and that's how. After 9 months, I know people in company at least now what are they doing and which department they are. So it's very important that you communicate and network. Networking doesn't only is limited to LinkedIn networking, but networking among your uh, company is also very important, because you never know what help you might need, how what you can learn from anyone, because learning happens everywhere and anytime. So it's important to network everywhere. And as a fresher, you don't have a burden on yourself that you're a 5 years experienced data scientist, you work in NLP only, you work in computer vision only. So you have like ample opportunities to explore yourself in any domain. So one of my friends who works, the company provided them various kind of projects. So like they got modeling projects, analytics project, documenting projects, data cleaning projects. And now when they have like gist of everything, so whatever they like, they can proceed ahead with it. Because you're a fresher, you have that opportunity to learn every skill set, and you never know that you came with a mindset of being a data scientist, but now you like Power BI and Tableau and data analysis a lot and creating a dashboard, and next day or after an year you're working as a BI analyst or data analyst, and you're a pro at that, and no one like can make dashboards like you. So you never know what might interest you at the end. So always try to broaden your knowledge and skill set. um, Also learn how you can help clients generate more business and help them generate revenues. So when you were this is what I learned while doing job, that it's good to have skills, but what to do of that skills, because 100 people have the same skills as you. What is so different in you that they should have you? Maybe you help the company save a lot of money or revenue, or you help them generate a lot of profits, or you help them get a good deal which could help them get profits. So these are all things that come into play. Even being a data scientist, you can help them save a lot of profit is just by help. When you work as a data scientist or someone, you use a lot of services. So for example, that service is like you're overloading it, or documentation is not done, it's unnecessarily running, so you could help your company save that money by shutting down that service for some time. And being very good at coding well and using your data well, that could give more insights to your marketing team or other team to generate and make the product more available to your customers. So it's very important. One thing also is important is that the work culture at your place, because work culture plays a very important role. um, it helps you to try take initiatives at work. Like suppose you get a data set or you get anything or a job to perform, and you found out that okay, I can use that data also in various ways to that can help us give more insights. So taking initiatives also add a lot to your work and learning. So try to take a lot of initiatives. It's better to try rather than regretting any time. So you would not regret that I never tried or never spoke. So better try to speak and take initiatives. And now moving ahead, last but not least is you can't do anything on your alone. So try to work in team and collaborate with people, because you can't be master of all. And as Amma mentioned, that you need a lot of people to do a project or thing. So try to learn in team, understand what team efforts means, and try to collaborate and working. It's a very important lesson that we learn, that working in team and collaborating with other people, because you have one perspective to things and they may have a newer perspective to things, and you never know that their perspective might be more useful for the project or the anything you are building up. And last but not the least, coming down to some common stuff that is needed when you are either into research or either into like tech. But before that also, some don't try to as a fresher we have a fear that we will do all the things that assigned to us and will not say no, because what if I don't get an appraisal, what if my manager thinks of me in a certain way, what if I do that? So try to say no, but in a subtle way, that they also understand that you are a human being and you also need your personal time to grow and yourself, because you are just coming up into the industry. So there's always a subtle way to say no to things. and don't overload yourself with work. Try to provide quality rather than quantity, and don't think that okay, if you would not do that task, what would they think? They would judge me. Will they not give me another task? So there's always a way how you communicate, and communication is a very important skill. So try to communicate very properly, and try to take initiatives at workplace. And that's all it from my talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manpreet. That was amazing. And Ammar, I must say you have power packed this whole session with so much information, and especially from entry level perspective, be it academic or industry. These are such important skills that we might just forget, even sometimes overdo things. But how important it is to, learn, collaborate, have an attitude towards it, having a mindset to upskill yourself. Being relevant in the market is important, but what makes you different in order to allow the business to grow, but to allow others to grow as well? What would be important is, I think, right from what your academic years you have been doing, what human touch you have been having, to into the right deep dive into the corporate world. I think it is important to know all of these points. And I think today what you shared about the tips of the interview, this is going to be very good for our beginners, because that is the fear point which many people want to take a back step, and nervousness can just sneak in. So let's not be nervous. Let's develop our soft skills. Public speaking is one of the options which many people refer to. Thanks to Richard, he's a Toastmaster. He's helped my soft skills as well. And this is my opportunity to thank him. I've worked with him on many avenues for that. And you have highlighted many areas, Manpreet, which people forget that they exist, and they need to pay attention to it. And accepting your mistake is not such a bad thing. I think the way you put it was really so genuine and humble, and I really liked it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And over to you, Tom, for your kind words to add to this talk.
Hello, everyone. I didn't expect to come on. I wanted to just be incognito and listen today, but I do have a new wise statement that I've been saying to myself and others now. Now that Gaith and I are overwhelmed writing our book together, I just go around and say what Manpreet said. That's all I need to say anymore. She's writing great posts. She's encouraging the community. Thank you, Manpreet. You're muted, daughter.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tom. Thanks, Manpreet, and thanks, Ammar.